What is up, guys? It is the Sports Nerd Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. What's up, guys? Hopefully, everyone out there is enjoying their Thursday as we are one day left of the week. If you guys are interested in any In the Zone gear, head over to squadlocker.com, type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio to present the store in which to get your gear. Guys, this show is also sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Guys, if you missed this show or my Friday show, the Sunshine State Sports Jabber, head over to our YouTube channel, The Sports Nerd Bradley Walker, to watch those shows in their entirety. And while you're over there, guys, please share, subscribe, and comment and like on our videos over there. That would be very awesome if you did that. Well, with that in mind, guys, we're going to go ahead and bring on my awesome two co-hosts this evening. And let's bring them both on here. Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing?
All right. Bradley, you left that one thing. You forgot those to be kind of dumb animals, too.
I'm sorry?
You forgot be kind of dumb animals.
Be kind to dumb animals. Okay. I
That's an
forgot
old
that.
one. That's an oldie.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
You
that.
should see my dog. Yeah. Dumb.
If my dog was as ugly as you, I'd tell him to shave his butt and walk backwards.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that one, too.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Cross that out. Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show. We get our started for Thursday.
Oh, dear.
Well, this event is winding down, so we might as well start the show off with that. The Olympics are winding down. Not really anything going on. I know Simone Biles came back to place, got a bronze medal in the uneven bars. I forget what event she got a bronze in. Balance beam. Sorry, that was what I was looking for. Balance beam, which is not one of her strong events by any means of the imagination. But anyway, I mean, as far as Team USA goes, we are advancing to the finals in baseball. So we're in the gold medal game in baseball. And we are also in the gold medal game for basketball. Yes. Surprisingly enough, Team USA did make it to the finals for a chance to win gold against France. Yep. And we also have a chance to win gold in women's beach volleyball. April Ross and her partner have made it to the finals for a chance to win gold.
Great players
there as well. Yes, they are very good. April Ross. I forget the other two that she was paired with at one time, but yeah, all of them.
Of course, Merman and Misty May trainer, but still.
Yeah.
She was one of the best, too.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
But yeah, those like I said, the games are winding down. There are, obviously events that are still there, but for the majority part, the events are, winding down. The Olympics are winding down. The summer games are winding down. Now, do we have the winter games later this year or
2022? Next year.
February.
Next year. Okay. All right. I wasn't really sure.
Though it's going to be kind of strange because the Olympics are going to run right into the Super Bowl as well. I'm like, how dumb can you possibly be?
Oh, boy. That's going to be interesting next
Nice
year.
going, stupid.
Yeah, right.
Well, where is the Super Bowl next year? Just off chance, LA or Las Vegas? It's got to be one of the two stadiums.
LA. Vegas isn't established as itself, because Vegas is still new. So I guess they figured, they are. Well, Bradley, I thought it was going to be at your house, but I guess they changed their mind about that too. Oh,
it was in my house. It was in my backyard last year. It was in my backyard last year. So
yeah. They got a monsoon or rainstorm, and that took care of that, right? Right.
I'll tell you what, it's been raining off and on here for like the last week. I mean, it rains all during the day, and then at night it stops for a little while. But I mean, it's been raining pretty hard. We've had a lot of rain here recently. So
And yet they call it the Sunshine State. I never figured that out. Why? Uh-huh.
Well, even though it's raining here, it's still hot as hell. Let me just say that. The humidity is up, and it feels like 100 degrees. So
how is it located in Miami now? I thought it was located in Tijuana. Oh.
I think you could say it's located in Miami if you want to. I've never been to Miami.
I thought it was Tijuana,
but I've never been to Miami.
No, that's North Cuba.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can say that.
Remember, everybody, the jokes are ad lib, not scripted.
That's correct.
Unfortunately.
That is correct. And please, everyone out there, we're not against Cuban people before someone takes it out of context.
Right.
And thinks that we're
Anyway, but why would you have the Olympics, right in the middle of the Super Bowl? I mean, that is bad strategy right there. Because normally it'd be after the Super Bowl. Now the Pro Bowl, of course, do we really care about that? No, of course not, because that's when they used to have it too. But that's when the Super Bowl came first, then the Pro Bowl. Now they reversed it, and now everything is all screwed up. I'm like, I don't know how NBC is going to work this out. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Gentlemen, I'll put it this way: have we got a problem, or do we have a problem?
Well, we do have a problem because that's the one sporting event that is look forward to every year is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I mean, I guess it depends on what events are on that night that are going to be. Hopefully, they put on events that out there that no one cares about. Don't put on like speed skating or downhill skiing or whatever.
How about curling?
Well, don't put curling on either because I like curling, so don't put curling on there.
There's one in every crowd. Okay.
I love curling.
Mine.
Curling is cool. That's
so boring.
it is very boring. It absolutely is boring.
It's soccer on ice. It's so boring.
Yeah.
It is boring.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. Oh, I get it now. That's my job.
Boring. But anyway, off air, before we go on anymore, Adam is working on getting Mr. Jim Brandstander back on here. So be prepared to talk Michigan football when he comes on.
Hopefully before the end of the month.
So that would be cool. I mean, the season, college.
So right around the corner.
The NFL season starts tonight, gentlemen.
And we got about 5 minutes.
I got it right now.
So that's.
God, it feels good to have him back.
Yeah. It always seems like we always wait an eternity. I was saying on the show earlier, we always seem to be waiting, like an eternity for football to come. Maybe it's because it's the longest off season in all the pro sports, to be honest with you.
Right.
Baseball, it's about 3 days to get back from the World Series preseason. It's about 3 days. Hockey is about the same thing. Basketball is a little bit longer, like about 3 months. But football, you got to wait more than half a year to get back.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's longer than that. So
and then it goes and football also has the shortest season too.
Yeah.
So football is crammed. You have 17 weeks crammed into 3 months.
Yeah.
From September to February. September, October, November, December.
Well,
February.
Don't forget preseason.
It's 6 months. Yeah, but only us hardcore. The people that the season doesn't start until September,
right?
And so you've got a 17-week regular season crammed into 6 months, and then you're off for 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They wonder why though the other leagues don't work. Like in the spring leagues, like the USFL, and whatnot, and the other leagues have failed within a year. You're cramming.
Yeah.
You say how everybody waits for it to happen, but when you get another football season in, like those other things, like nobody really cares.
No.
It's like
it goes.
That's fine.
Oh, we talked about that, ad nauseum on this show.
Right.
But they don't have the talent.
Well, neither do we, but still.
The NFL these upstart leagues don't have the same talent
Right.
as the NFL.
Obviously.
That's what made the AFL, the American Football League, so successful back in the 60s.
Yes.
Was that they were able to get NFL talent. Like Namath, they had the money, they had the capital. The NFL was so much smaller
Right.
that they could compete with the NFL. The NFL is a juggernaut right now. I mean, it'd be like the three of us trying to form an army to take on the Romans. It ain't gonna happen.
No.
It ain't gonna happen.
Hey, Caesar, can you give us a hand? No. I mean,
Don't attract any undue attention at this point. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. Can we start with some Visigoths first?
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, with all that Caesar talk. I mean, hail Caesar.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar.
Speaking
Okay.
of the National Football League, they are having the Hall of Fame inductions this weekend, and I'm not really sure why this is making such big headlines that Tom Brady is going to Canton to be there for Peyton Manning, support Peyton Manning.
I never understood the rival. There was no rival. I mean, there was a friendly rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
It was their rabid fans where the rivalry really was. It was all of
Right.
us chuckleheads.
Yeah.
Out here, both in the media and, just dudes in their living rooms,
Right.
the game has changed in the last 20, when they started, Facebook wasn't a thing, Twitter
Nope.
wasn't a thing, YouTube wasn't a thing.
Nope.
They and
Good run.
if you wanted to have an opinion, you had to go to school, you had to go to get a broadcasting degree, you had to spend years slogging in crummy hotels, in podunk little towns, just scrapping and clawing for every little bit of information. And, as their careers progressed, everyone was able to have a voice and an opinion on both their careers. And so you have the Peyton Manning people, you have the Tom Brady people, and
Right.
the Peyton people, he's got the numbers, and Brady people will be like, he's got the rings. It was all of us, both in the media and on our couches, that made Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning a much bigger thing than it was on the field.
Yeah, because I don't think there was really any real rivalry between them.
No,
It looked like it, but it wasn't.
it was a friendly rivalry. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as you want to beat any other guy on any
Right.
given Sunday. I mean, you always see, the Patriots circle Indy circles New England, because that's what you do. It's a big, it's always it's a Sunday night game, it's a Monday night game, it's a Thursday night, it's a primetime game in front of the whole country. You don't want to go out and embarrass yourself. You don't want to have a fumble.
Malaya.
Looks like the and Dallas recovered. You don't want to have a botched fourth down fake punt situation.
No.
Looking at you, Indy.
Well, I was just going to say about Indianapolis, you have Carson Wentz, who's going to have foot surgery.
Is now on the. He could be out at the earliest. He could be back is week 1 at the earliest.
Correct. 6 weeks.
If they're lucky.
Yeah.
Strong.
I saw 5 to 12 is what I had seen.
Yes.
So at worst, he's not going to be. At worst, he's not going to be back until the beginning of October.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even the middle of October, depending on how the rehab goes.
Do they possibly go out and bring Phillip Rivers back? Do they go out and get another veteran quarterback?
Because
Nick
Nick
Foles has been mentioned. So,
yeah, I've heard that name floated. I saw one other name floated earlier, and I don't remember. Marcus Mariota was floated by somebody in the media. I don't remember which chucklehead that was.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what group I saw that in. I'd look it up. I should have saved it, but I didn't think about it.
But Rivers is a possibility.
Yes.
I would be okay with that if I was an AD fan. Bring Phillip Rivers back.
Yeah.
He knows the offense.
He knows the offense. He knows the team. He's a fan favorite. You're not. It's not like giving. You don't have to give anything up to get him.
Right.
So it's not like going and trading for Nick Foles or trading for Marcus Mariota or
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think if Wentz is not going to be ready for Indianapolis, then yeah, you got to bring
No.
Herbert back. You know,
because who's the sitting backup in Indy? I don't remember.
Eason, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
Because they let Brissett go to Miami.
correct.
Yeah, we looked at that last week.
He's going to
I
back
think
up.
there was another player that was out for the same amount of time. Separate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a receiver, I think it was.
Yes.
I was going to say, did you guys see that hit in Carolina? The guy got cut after hitting that wide receiver.
I hadn't heard that. I'd seen there was a fight in New York.
Daniel Jones, your quarterback's on the bottom of the
Ended
pile.
up on the
That's a bad
bile.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
That's a bad scenario.
that and I wanted to get into the Dan Campbell thing. I want to get into that in more depth, and the Lions in more depth here in a minute. But I just want to talk about the Giants real quick. That's not a good look if you're for a new coaching staff.
Right.
You're coming into a situation where you're coming off a year where you were in shambles, cleaned house, fired everybody, and then you get into training camp, and you have the
I wanted to bring this up real quick.
Okay, let me. Can you blow it up? Can you zoom in on it?
Yeah,
absolutely, gentlemen. Yeah, let me hang on a second. Let me bring it up a little bit more
because it's not in focus.
No.
Zoom and enhance.
I thought it was my camera.
Zoom and enhance.
Okay.
That's a little bit better.
That's better.
Better?
Okay. A full team brawl at Giants camp with Daniel Jones somehow at the bottom of the pile. Joe Judge is absolutely living.
Yeah.
He got the players to line up. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Hang on. Let's see here.
Sounds like something Herb Brooks would do.
Herb Brooks.
Really?
Yeah, there you go. How about that? There's a little bit better. So you guys.
That's a lot easier to read now. I'm not having to lean in and squeak.
I guess he made them for 100-yard dashes. I guess kind of similar to what Herb Brooks did in Team USA. Doing Herbies.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was after they got thumped.
Yep, doing Herbies. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think didn't he do it to them after they tied Sweden?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
they tied Sweden.
Suicides until he got tired.
Yeah,
I remember.
And down the blood for the players that are working on pricing are crazy. Oof, you saw the movie Miracle. You know what I mean? Oof.
Yeah.
There you go.
Had. This is almost 10 years ago now, but I
20.
I worked out with the National Guard twice in one summer because they were recruiting me and I was trying to go in.
Right.
And I got to go up to the guard post and work out with them and train with them. And I remember one drill sergeant was on post and some kid smarted off and he made him do push-ups and he's like, "You're going to do push-ups until I get tired." And that made me think of that. But so to go into the Dan Campbell.
Go ahead.
To go into the Lions thing and the Dan Campbell situation, I wasn't sure about the hire from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know he had been the co-coordinator or the co-head coach in New Orleans, the Saints.
Yes.
For a couple years, and he's also the tight end coach. And I just wasn't sure about the hire. And then he had that press conference where he was like, if we get knocked down, I want everybody coming up biting kneecaps. And I wasn't, again, it didn't do anything to calm my nerves.
Right.
Just gotta get the password.
And then day before yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he was, they had a fight. A couple of rookies got into a fist fight.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And and to me, and he was cheering. Afterwards, he came out and made a statement how he wasn't bothered by it or anything. And to me, that screams lack of discipline.
It does.
And I'm this we're already having these kind of discipline issues in training camp. What are we gonna do in the regular season when you get beat by a guy off the line and all you can do is reach out and grab because you got beat off the line, and so you get a holding, and it goes from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20, and run up the middle for a 2-yard gain. Now it's 2nd and 18, overthrow, and now it's 3rd and 18, and you a little shuttle, a screen pass or a quick slant, and now it's 4th and 11, and you got a punt because you have absolutely no discipline. And that's what I'm worried. That's what it screams to me, especially with him not taking responsibility and not and making kind of cheering it on. And
Yeah.
again, another situation where you have you come into a situation in disarray, and has been in disarray for the better part of 2 decades.
Mhm.
With a couple of peaks, but mostly valleys.
Right.
A handful of playoff appearances, no playoff wins, no championships in 70 years, and you clean house, bring in a whole new staff, and the staff is the same mentality, the same bullshit, the same garbage that they've been doing for the last 20 years is still all there. The lack of discipline, the lack of focus, the lack of attention to detail. And I get into a fist fight with my teammate because, and I don't know the full story. I haven't heard what exactly the fight was about. But to me, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to be fighting with your teammates.
No.
This is not the 90s. It's not the NHL. You're not gonna go out there and throw hands with somebody to try and make the roster because that's the role you have, the tough guy enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
You're a football player, act like one.
Yeah, it's not playground material. It's not high school. You're supposed to be playing professional athletes. You're supposed to act like it too.
Yep.
It looks like the fight was between 2 rookies.
Right. Again. And that's the big, it screams no discipline.
Yeah. Between rookies Amon Ra St. Brown and Ifedem Olaolu, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing those names incorrectly.
Yeah.
But
close enough, I'll take it.
Yeah, he said that Campbell said that they were fired up because they're competing. It was good to see both of them, 2 young bucks after it. We had a pretty good idea that he was capable of that just when he gets his pads on. He's aggressive. So, again,
that's not discipline.
Well, no,
it's Louis Delmas all over again. Flying around like an asshole, doing stupid shit, and putting your teammates in compromising positions.
Yeah, the one of them says, "Hey, man, I'm not your punching bag." That encouraged me. It really did. So, again, this is Campbell and his staff did not hesitate to pair the two up again minutes later, showing trust. The players wouldn't let bad blood simmer over for the rest of the practice. So I just happened to look that up, but as you were talking about it, to see if I could find an article on why.
No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. It doesn't change my mind. I still have the same. It screams lack of discipline.
Oh yeah.
If there was discipline in the locker room, if Dan Campbell came in and installed a sense of discipline and responsibility, they wouldn't be fighting.
No, they wouldn't.
And not over trivial, stupid shit. There's a difference between somebody steps on you, somebody kicks you, somebody gouges you at the bottom of a pile, and you just come up and you see red and you start throwing. This is stupid shit. This is immature, inane bullshit.
Well, first of all, too, I mean, again,
you're rookies. You're rookies. You don't have anything to be fighting over.
You took the words out of my mouth there, bud. I was just going to say that this is not veteran players fighting or a veteran or rookie fighting over a position. These are 2 rookies that shouldn't have nothing, that they're not even on the team yet. And
Right.
you're already fighting with each other during camp. Yeah, I have to say I agree. But that, this it looks like it's a problem across a lot of camps. The Lions, the Giants. I mean,
didn't the Jets have a fight?
The Jets had a fight. Carolina had a guy get knocked out.
Carolina had a guy get cut because he threw a bad hit.
Yeah, on a wide receiver. Correct.
On his teammate, for Christ's sake.
Yep. There you go. There you go. It's not even we're not even into week 1 yet. We're already having brawls.
We're not even having joint scrimmages.
Nope. Not yet.
Against your own teammates. I mean, what are you gonna do when you go up against an opponent? Then what are you gonna do? I mean, that's who you're fighting against, not one of your own, idiot.
It's a good question. That's a very.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you.
You're going up against, say that for going up against your opponent. You're supposed to work together, as a team.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do when against an opponent?
What are you gonna do if some guy who's been in the league 10 years chirps at you? You gonna go fight him too? Give your team 15 yards, give them a free 15 yards, get yourself kicked out of the game? Ass clown.
There'll be teams that will do that specifically just to get under your skin. They will know it. They know exactly what
they know who these guys are.
Yeah.
And they talk, everybody talks. And they know exactly what was said, what was done.
That's right.
Somebody's gonna get caught or traded or moved, released, whatever, and is gonna go on and play for another. And the word's gonna get around the league. What was said, who said what, and exactly what precipitated the fight. And you're gonna have guys that have been in the league 5, 10, 15 years that are gonna know exactly what to say to get you off your game, to needle you all day. And it goes back to what I've been saying this whole time, is the complete lack of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
If you were disciplined, and if Dan Campbell had come in, I don't care about young bucks fighting for a job. That's horseshit. No. If you're there to get the job, you shut your mouth, shut your hole, and know your role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't be a dumbass.
It's the Bill Belichick's, is famous for do your job. Right. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. You do your job and everything else will fall into place. You do your job. If he can't do his job, don't worry about it. You're not the coach. You're not the position coordinator. You're not a vet, especially rookies. Shut your hole and know your role. And something we got into a while ago is Dwayne Haskins. When he was trying to yell at the lineman in Washington. Mm-hmm. And you don't have the same respect isn't the right word.
No.
Gravitas that a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or a somebody that's been in the league and been doing it at the highest level for 15 years.
Right.
I mean, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they weren't coming in screaming at guys in their rookie year. That was Drew Bledsoe. That was Drew Bledsoe's job when Tom Brady first got to New England.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Peyton Manning took over when he got to New Indy, and it was his job. It's his job from day one. But that being said, Peyton Manning didn't have the respect and the knowledge and the leadership. Everybody thought Peyton Manning was going to be Peyton Manning, but until he proved that he could be Peyton Manning, he didn't have that. There were other veteran leaders on that team that it was their job to do the on the field coaching. That's why Tom Brady can scream at his linemen. And because he's been there and he's done it for so long and he's done it at the highest level and he had at the time 6 Super Bowl rings, now 7. He's got the hardware that can and you have rookies in here acting like assholes thinking that they need to prove something.
Right.
By fighting with each other. If you really want to show me something, go make a pick. Go break up a pass. Catch up, get beat off the line and make a spectacular play to get caught up and break up that pass. Make that pick. Don't go fight your teammate like a jackass.
Yeah. Why would you fight your own teammate?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You know, if in any in any three where we work, if we got into a fist fight with
We're
somebody,
fired.
we'd be done.
We're
Done.
fired.
Done.
Yeah, I know
Done.
I'm fired. I know I'm fired.
There's
Absolutely.
and it wouldn't matter who started it, who said what. You start throwing hands, you're done. Oh, that's got to be a late hit.
Sorry, guys. The reason I was smiling there real quick is I just got another 2 more months of sponsorship from our sponsor. So sorry.
Sweet.
Wonderful.
Money. Yeah. So,
Money.
real quick, guys, before we cut the NFL out, you know that Buffalo is looking at Austin, New York,
Yeah.
instead of Orchard Park, to move the Buffalo Bills out of Orchard Park. I don't know what you guys is.
I heard San Antonio. They were.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's what it was. I'm sorry.
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, so Buffalo doesn't draw as well as, say, like in other areas, but they still have a respectable crowd. But I thought if any place we're going to move to, I thought it'd be Toronto because most of their fans are, north of the border anyway. But
Austin, Texas.
Texas has enough teams as it is.
Right.
Do they really have more? Do they really have even room for one more? I mean,
I don't like the idea of moving to
like
Austin or San Antonio or anywhere. I don't understand why Texas has 2 teams, California has 3, New York has 3, but Alabama has none.
Florida has 3.
Florida has 3.
Yes.
Do they have 3 or 2?
3.
Yeah, 3. Yep.
Bucks, Jaguars, Dolphins. Yep, we have 3 here.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about Jacksonville.
You want to count
So
them?
did Jacksonville.
They're easily forgettable, but
Yeah.
I'll talk about them more
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Right.
They're easily forgettable.
All the offense. But no, I don't know. I could talk circles for the next hour about the.
No, I mean that's okay. I mean, obviously, it's like I said, the whole
I mean,
fighting.
I guess
is all
the
over.
biggest thing for me is like they're my home team. From being from and they haven't been a respectable franchise since before my grandpa was born. Not quite that, but. Well, the last time they were a respectable franchise, my grandpa was in college.
The Bills?
No, the Lions.
The Lions. He's not gonna call Lions.
I'm sorry. I went back. I went back to.
Well, actually, they've been good since the dinosaur era ended. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
So and having a new coach and having a new outlook, and yet it's the same garbage that they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Right.
Oh, we can move on to something else.
I was just gonna say though, the one that I want to talk about. This is kind of cool, kind of not something that we talk a lot about on here. And the soccer balls right here behind me. I was gonna talk about the Gold Cup, how the United States won the Gold Cup. That is huge, I have to say, especially for the men's team to win the Gold Cup. That's huge because the women didn't do very well in the Olympics, winning the bronze medal.
Yeah.
So
did the men's even place?
They didn't win the Olympics.
Never made it.
They didn't qualify. The men didn't qualify for the Olympics. That's why they were playing in the Gold Cup.
What a shock, though.
Kind of like the NIT in the in the March Madness. So you don't get the invite, you go to the
one tournament.
So yeah,
consolation prize.
But it is big that at least they won the Gold Cup. They beat Mexico, which is a rival country, obviously. Our neighbors to the south,
right?
So
yes.
So again, I wanted to bring that up. That was the only short soccer tip I had. It was to talk about then.
I watched it.
Oh, speaking of soccer,
go ahead.
Did you see that? What's his nuts is leaving?
Yes.
Barcelona. Messi's out in Barcelona.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That broke right before we came on the air, right?
A couple hours ago.
It's afternoon.
Yeah. It's afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, about 6 hours ago.
I was typing it up.
You guys, Lewis, you know a lot about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going to go?
Well, I think they're still going to try to look for it in the European club. I mean, it'd be wonderful if he can get over to the MLS, but I think it's that's almost next to impossible. I think if anything, he's going to sign with maybe a rival club in the Spanish league or whatnot, or somewhere in Europe. I don't think.
Where does Ronaldo play?
I heard that he was going to sign with Inter Miami. That's where he was
Aha.
rumored. Now, again, that's just a rumor, but that's what I heard, that he was going to leave Barcelona and come to Inter Miami. Now, that team is in shambles.
That's true.
They'll need some kind of positivity, and maybe that's what they're looking for, a big splash like that. I don't know. Because they're dead last. They're dead last in the rankings, right? Inter Miami's dead last. Yeah. So they need,
just like their predecessor.
They need something positive. Again, just a rumor. I don't know. You could be exactly right. He could stay in Spain and play for a rival team, or go to the Premier League. I don't know. I'm just saying. Who the heck knows?
That's a possibility too. And because the Premier League players have big stars.
Yeah. Now Messi is where is he from originally? What country is he from?
I believe he is from Spain.
Spain? Okay.
He's Spanish.
Yes.
What about
Ronaldo is from Argentina,
Italy.
right?
Nah.
Italy. Okay.
Oh, well, he plays in Italy.
Yeah, but he's Argentinian.
I think it says he's from Argentina.
Or Brazil. Right. Portuguese.
Oh, he's Portuguese. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Portugal.
Okay. From Portugal. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Are you sure Messi's not from Portugal? Is that where he's from originally? I'm not
Different
really sure.
Guy. Wrong. Is it Cristiano Ronaldo, right?
Yes.
Right.
If I could spell it, it would help.
Right. Don't worry, I have trouble spelling it too.
He is Portuguese. Yeah.
Okay, so he's from Portugal. Okay.
Yeah.
And Messi's.
But he plays in Italy.
Messi must be from Argentina. I know one of them is from Argentina.
That's Messi.
Messi must be the one from Argentina. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the power rankings for the MLS, they have New England as the top team in the MLS right now. So that's the same organization that's owned by Robert Kraft. He owns the Patriots.
Could you see, not to go back, but could you see him signing with, could you see Messi signing with
Revolution?
No, with Javitas?
Juventus.
Juventus, is that how you spell that and pronounce that? Because that's where Messi plays.
Them being on the same team with each other? Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be dangerous.
Yeah.
The two best players in the world on the same team? Ooh. That would be
someone with that.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's outside of the spectrum of happening, because that definitely could happen. I'm just wondering what
soccer super team?
Yeah, soccer super team, exactly.
Yes.
I made a joke in one of my Facebook groups. They said, "Where do you see Messi going?" I was like, "The Lakers."
They signed everybody else.
Exactly.
Everybody else. Why not?
Go to the Nets.
Speaking of that, we could talk NBA next. We can go there next if you want to talk about that. We can go right into that.
Well, I heard that Messi will do soccer in the spring and he'll come to the NBA in the winter.
There you go.
Why not?
There you go.
Or we can clone him.
Right.
Obviously, the trade deadline has just kind of fulfilled. There's been some interesting pickups. I know the Knicks
free agency,
Randle to an extension.
4 years.
So that was big.
Yep. There are a lot of huge moves.
Kemba Walker is going to the Knicks.
Yeah.
With the Knicks.
Did he sign with the Knicks?
Yes.
Sure did. Yes, he did.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, the NBA. Obviously, the draft was last week. I think.
Oh yeah, the Knicks, not the Nets. Yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
It happened, and so that all went down.
Cade Cunningham has his first G League game tomorrow.
That was the first overall pick, right?
Correct. I don't know if he'll play much.
No.
Let's see here. Chris Paul re-signed with the Suns.
Yep.
Good move.
Great move.
Lamar Ball joins the Bulls via
Yeah, he got traded. Signed it. That's right.
Walker signed with the Knicks after OKC buyout.
Oh, wow.
Connolly to re-sign with Jazz on a 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat acquire Lowry via sign and trade. They re-signed Butler and Robinson to new deals.
Great. Yeah, huge. Yeah. I can't believe the kid was Robinson there. Nobody. Signed a 1-year deal at his senior year at Michigan and hit nothing but threes. And got to go, got a look from Miami. They sent him down to the G League and finally brought him up late in 2020 before the end of the world. And he's done nothing but nothing but buckets, man. Nothing but buckets.
Right.
Huge resign.
Yeah, I'll go into more detail about that tomorrow night with the Heat.
I probably won't be available tomorrow night.
No worries.
I'll be here 9:20.
Wizards acquire Dim Little in a sign and trade involving 5 teams.
That name I don't recognize.
Anthony agrees to a 1-year deal with the Lakers.
Right. I've
Collins
seen.
agrees to 125
Oh, wow.
with the Hawks.
And Canadian football, too.
Hardaway to re-sign with Mavs on a 4-year deal. Danny Green to re-sign with 76ers on a 2-year deal. These are just things off of CBS reading.
Did you see that
What?
Curry signed a max deal, 4 years, 216, 215?
Second max deal he signed as a Warrior. Basically, I was going to ask you guys in the future, and this is on one of the radio shows I listen to every morning. We can do Would You Rather, and we can make up things for each of us can ask each other a question.
Okay.
And we can put ourselves, if you want to do that in the future, let me know.
Sure. We can do that. We can do that right now if you want. I don't care.
That's okay. We can do that. I mean,
if you got something in mind, hit me with it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can go back and talk about. Okay, well, that's like there you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of Messi, would you rather see him stay in Spain or come to the MLS?
I think I'd love to see him in the MLS. It would be a huge boon for American soccer.
Absolutely. I mean, it'd be the second coming of Pele. I think so.
I think it would rival Beckham.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
It would be right up. It'd be right up there with Beckham signing with the LA Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him come. I don't know if it's possible, but if it was me, if I had my way, absolutely, I would have him come to us. Absolutely.
I mean, it really wouldn't do anything for me to get me to watch soccer, but I would, if I had a team closer that was an MLS team, I might go check out a game in person. And to see Messi play, because, he's one of the greatest of all time, it would be fun. A sport that I really don't care about, but to get to see Messi play, it would be incredible. It would be one of those once in a lifetime experiences that, you can't pass up. If you get a chance to, to go, even if you're not a football fan, you go to the Super Bowl. If you're not a hockey fan, you get free tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals. You go. You just go.
Right.
One of those you've got to see it in person kind of things. And so
Sure.
for me, if there was Atlanta's got a team. If he signed in Inter Miami and they came up and played Atlanta, I'd think about going to an Atlanta game.
Mm.
Like I said, we can definitely do this every week.
Yeah.
I'll come up with some videos if you want.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Especially
show or something like that. We can do that.
Or the beginning before we got like in this kind of intermission period where we don't have a lot of when we kind of hit the big topics, and usually we save the NFL for the end because it's our longest.
Yeah.
Probably going forward as we get closer and closer to the start of the season, we'll move the NFL back to the. Ooh, Robert Griffin just signed as a college football analyst.
Really?
Yes.
Well, Sean Tortorella signed as an analyst for ESPN for hockey.
Yep, and Griffin just signed for college ball on ESPN.
Ooh.
I guess, guys, the NBA salary is going to go up by 3%.
Okay.
Last year. So if you are no experience, your average base salary will be $925K. If you have a
I should go-
10 plus year experience with the league, you're going to make 2.6 million, just
minimum
minimum base salary. Minimum base salary.
with an M, minimum.
minimum.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you've been in the NBA for 10
A
years,
decade.
10 plus years. You're in a guaranteed 2.6
if
million.
you sign,
If
if
you
you sign,
Right.
you are guaranteed 2.6.
2.6. 2.6.
It's hella
No,
good money,
I'd even take 925K.
right?
Saying I'd even take that right now. I'd take 125K. So no doubt about that.
I'm
That's
too white for all that.
There-
I'm kidding.
I guess the WNBA might have a team in Oakland. It looks like it's been approved locally for them to add
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California, correct.
Yeah.
They've been looking to add a
Expanding and growing.
expanding their league. The ladies did advance to the quarterfinals. So the lady Team USA is on their way to the quarterfinals in the
Cool.
Olympics. But again,
And then-
I saw the Oakland thing. I thought that'd be kind of cool to kind of justify a little
Yeah,
bit.
just hit that real quick. Hit the top of that because I really don't follow the WNBA. Hey, if they're growing and expanding, more power to them.
Yeah, but the problem is that Oakland hasn't really been a very sports friendly town. I mean,
Not in the
Very
last
true. Very true.
25 years.
the Rares,
But
gone.
yeah, the A's are looking to be moved.
Yeah, and the Warriors move across the bay to San Francisco, which were
Right.
anyway. But
Well, when did they? Because originally they were in San Francisco,
yes,
and then they moved to Oakland, and then last year, 2019, they moved back to
Yeah.
San Francisco when Oracle got finished.
uh-huh.
Is that right? I think sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So they moved across the bay to San Francisco from
Correct.
Oakland.
Yes.
I have a funny feeling that the A's are going to move to Las Vegas.
I agree. Las Vegas or San Antonio.
That would be interesting to have a baseball team in San Antonio, Texas. That would
Yeah.
be
Yep.
interesting. Amongst that, you only have one other baseball team there, which is the Rangers, right?
Yep.
That's the only other baseball team in
Well, you
Texas.
got-
Oh no, Houston, the
Oh,
Astros.
Houston. I'm sorry, the Astros. I'm sorry, that's right. The
Houston,
Astros.
we have a problem.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. The Astros.
I could see them moving to San Antonio or I'd say Las Vegas being first.
Yeah,
I would say there again. There's a would you rather. I would rather, I could see them in Vegas first. Now, if Vegas
Right.
falls apart, or if Vegas takes the Rays out of Tampa, Oakland would definitely. Then I would say San Antonio. I have a funny
But-
feeling that the Rays are going to go to Charlotte. That's just my opinion.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte North. You should see. There's a group on Facebook called Charlotte Bats. Actually, the guy.
Oh yeah, of course, I've heard them.
They are just absolutely like they go all over Facebook, all over the Tampa Bay Rays Facebook pages, and say, "Oh, your team's coming to Charlotte." And you should see how many people get pissed to hear them say that there's a chance that their team could end up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
They already have a minor league baseball team in Las Vegas,
Yes.
Okay.
and they're the Oakland affiliate.
Oh, that would make sense then. Okay,
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
that would make.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It makes more sense than
It
on
does.
pay or at first blush. It makes more sense than San Antonio, but I just have a feeling that San Antonio would be a good destination for another baseball team.
Can't say that could be the Rays. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, could be the Rays.
Down here, they can't get a stadium.
No, they
Deal
can't get us.
done.
Well, and the thing is, thinking about it, because I think Oakland's deal is up first.
Correct. That's correct.
So I think Oakland would be more likely to move to Las Vegas,
Mhm.
and then the Rays would be the next team to be potentially moved if Miami doesn't get moved first.
Well, the only problem with moving,
But didn't they just get in?
the Rays would
didn't-
be more profitable because of their winning. The Marlins. I mean,
Didn't-
yes, I know the Marlins have 2 World Series, but still.
Didn't the Marlins just get a new stadium a couple years ago too?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
So it would be harder to move the Marlins than it would be to move the Rays, because the reason the Rays are looking to move is because they can't get a deal done to get a new stadium.
And that's
But-
one of the reasons why they don't get a new stadium, because Stu Sternberg has looked at what they've done in Miami. They built them a new stadium. The first year it was filled, and now they can't get a damn person to go down there and watch a baseball game.
Right.
So that's why.
Wasted.
Well, me and my dad, for years, we talked about Miami not being a sports town. Miami is such a cultural hotbed of nightlife. You don't
Yeah.
go to Miami for a sporting event. You go to Miami to party. It's a club town.
Yes.
I agree.
And not only is it a club town, but it's a college town. It's a college club town. Young people go there to rub elbows with important people.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Definitely.
I agree
And
with it.
and
spring break.
yep. And,
No, I
and
mean-
so and so you have people from all over the country, you know, New York, Detroit, LA, you know, Chicago. You take any major metropolitan area that ends up in Miami, they already have a team. You know, people coming down from Minneapolis or coming back east from Kansas City or Oklahoma City or you know, any of the other major metropolitan areas, they already have a baseball team that they follow. And so if the Cubs, Yankees, Red Sox, Tigers, A's, if none of those teams are in town, and you're like, do you want to go to a Miami game? You want to go to a Marlins game? Or do you want to go hit the strip? Well, let's go
Yep.
hit the strip.
I agree with that right there.
And people don't, you know, as big of a town as Miami is, I don't think people actually live in Miami.
No.
Right.
As in, like, people don't make Miami their home. Yes, there are people that live in Miami. Obviously, like, you know, think of it like Washington, D.C. There are people that live in Washington, D.C., but they're from elsewhere. And so Miami doesn't have a fan base that is strictly in Miami. You've got people from all around the country and the world. And Miami's a port city. You know, they get a lot of international commerce that comes through Miami. So they've got teams that they root for elsewhere. And so Miami doesn't have, much like Tampa Bay, doesn't have that's a home fan base to build around. And we'll see where the Golden Knights are in 5 or 10 years.
Right.
If they fall off here in the next 2 or 3 years, and they can't continue their success, can't be a perennial playoff team, and can't continue to grow that fan base with locals, and you've got people coming in from the rest of the country that are going to see something, Cirque du Soleil, going to visit the Strip, and that are going, oh, hey, the Wings are in town, the Hawks are in town.
Mhm.
The same thing with the Kraken. You know, the Kraken struggle for the first couple of years, and they can't have and generate a fan base. And I know I'm way off baseball, but you know, just thinking about it, you know.
No, you make a good point, Bud, because see, that's the issue with the Rays right now. Because their fan base is so young. The team hasn't been around that long. Period. So they're
Well, look at yourself.
yeah. So
You were born in 84,
83.
which was 83. I'll give you a year back.
Thank you.
Um,
I'll be 30 in about a month and a month and 25 days. I'll
Okay.
be 38.
and so,
And real
but
quick,
think about it.
before you go into that thought, there will not be a show that day. My birthday happens to fall on a Thursday. There will be no show.
Not
Yeah.
surprised.
Okey-dokey.
But go ahead, buddy.
Right.
Go with that one, your thought.
No, but I was gonna say about you personally. And when I say you, I mean you. You're a Red Sox fan.
I am a Red Sox.
I was wondering about that earlier this week, because I was gonna ask you. Okay, so you're from Tampa Bay,
Born and
but
raised.
you're a Bucks fan and a
Patriot.
Red Sox and a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, right.
how okay? So when did Tampa Bay get a team? Get a baseball team?
Then they
93?
1476.
19. Well, that's the Buccaneers came in 76.
Right. And,
The
Rays
Rays came in
93.
1997, I believe.
Was 97 their
93.
first year? I thought 93 was their first year
93.
because they won their first championship in
Yes.
93
Okay, yeah, the
or 97.
The Lightning were in 92. I think the
Mhm.
Rays came a few years after 95.
95.
Hang on.
It's
Let me see.
It was
real
93.
quick. Hang on a minute. Let me check that. I'm not 100% sure when exactly the Rays came into. Let me see real quick. When was the Rays?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, first season. There we go. Of course, it goes to the score. What?
98.
98. Okay, yeah, 1998.
Oh yeah. I got them confused with the Marlins. Oh,
Right.
I had it backwards.
I was
Um,
15 at the time that they became.
So by the time they came into the league, you were already a well-established Red Sox fan.
I became a Red Sox fan because at the time, now they're not this way anymore, but at the time, they were the potential loser in the playoffs. The Yankees were the nemesis.
The perennial loser.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
beat the Yankees, and everybody was wearing an NY hat. Swear to God, when I was young and a teenager, everybody was wearing the NY hat. So when I became a baseball fan, I said, you know what? I'm going to cheer for the underdog, which they're not underdogs anymore because the Red Sox have won 4 World Series in the last, 10, 15 years.
Yes.
So,
But
it is what it is. But go ahead.
so so by the time you were a teenager, by the time the Marlins came or the Rays came along, you were already a Red Sox fan.
Correct. That's correct.
So you didn't have that chance. You didn't grow up
Being a
with
Red Sox fan.
a Rays, and you also didn't grow up, with it being so long into the history of over almost 100 years since the beginning of what we consider the MLB.
Right.
Being, with the modern creation of MLB circa 1900, 1901,
Correct.
most of your perennial franchises being established in the early 1900s, New York, Detroit, Boston, Chicago,
Right.
All those teams, and not having a rivalry, like when Cleveland comes into for want of an example, Detroit and Cleveland being, it's very easy, for Ohio and Michigan, to hate each other.
Right.
And so when the Indians come into the league, there is no winning over the Indians fans are like, yeah, great, we have a team to root for now. But when the Marlins, by the time the Rays come along, the league is so old and so well established that there's no bringing in those older young fans, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
into the fold. And now you're almost 40, and you don't have any desire to have season tickets. Your kids aren't growing up Rays fans.
Right.
If you had kids, they'd be Red Sox fans.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. That would be their choice. I'm not.
But you would raise them to root for your team and their team. You would raise them to root for the Red Sox, not for the. Of course they can root for the Marlins, but Dad's team is the Red Sox. So I'm going to root for the Red Sox.
Yeah. See, I'm one of those that if I have kids in the future, that is something that I would say. You know what? If you want to be a Yankee fan, be a Yankee fan. I don't care. You want to be a Seminoles fan? I'm a Gator. Fine. You want to be a Georgia fan? Great. You want to be a Buckeye fan? Okay. Congratulations. My brother-in-law's one, so he's kind of bringing up my nephews to be that.
You're not allowed to root for Tennessee, though.
Yeah, that's right.
No, well,
not allowed to root for Tennessee.
I might have to write them. I might have to write them out of the will if they become the Tennessee Volunteer fan. No.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
anybody's from Tennessee, I mean, my roommate mentioned that to me last night. He's going to be setting up that trip, so we are coming to see the outdoor game. So I will be meeting up with you, bud, when we come up there.
Sounds good. Let me know.
But real quick, there was something that I caught from the score, something about how the MLB draft remains broken. Now, let me read what this says, because I was trying to read this article real quick while you guys were talking. It says the Major League Baseball draft is broken for many players preparing to enter the professional ranks. Amateur players too often have little negotiating leverage. Many face paltry signing bonuses in addition to poverty-level minor league salaries. pro prospects and minor league players are not represented by the MLBPA. It's not clear who, if anyone, will stand up for amateur players, but the draft system needs some common sense improvements to aid the game's long-term health. So what is your guys' opinion on that? Is the MLB draft broken? Is it that the minor league system isn't as great as we talk about it? I don't know what to say about that. I'm just trying to.
I think the minor league system is as good as it used to be. I think that's what they meant.
It's as bad as it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's never been good. The minor league baseball is a joke. You can't make a living playing minor league baseball.
No.
Not anymore.
Not ever.
Not ever.
Not in the last 50 years.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, when the strike happened in '94, I mean, that's where fans went, to catch baseball in the minor leagues. But
yeah,
it hasn't been like that since.
No, I mean the salaries are $100 a week to play baseball. $100 a week. I make more of that at my job.
Right.
Well, on top of that too, with the pandemic, that hurt minor league baseball big time. That was one of the leagues that, I mean, think about this too. For all those small towns out there, that have minor league baseball, that's all they have. That's all they have in their town is minor league baseball, or they have something like that. And if that goes away, they don't have a way of watching. Honestly, they don't have a way of watching sports, but they don't have a sport in
a
their
local
town.
Team.
Yeah, a local team to cheer for. Even if, like you said, for example, your town is the minor league system for the Yankees, and you're a Red Sox fan, you can't stand the Yankees, but you go watch them because it's live sports. You go watch the minor league team because
who knows that 2 years from now, this guy I'm watching here could be in the MLB.
Correct.
I get to say I saw him before he was,
I mean, I have locally here, Clearwater. We have A-ball, the A team for the Phillies. So I don't think many of those guys won't make it to the majors.
Probably not.
But highly unlikely.
You should see though, in a non-pandemic year, usually the ballpark is packed on a Friday or Saturday night. Packed.
Right.
Because it's a cheap ticket. You can go there. They have fireworks after the game. So it's
a cheap hot dog and a cheap beer, and
it's fun. It's just something to do on a Friday or Saturday. Now, with football coming back, it's going to be different. I caught this. I got this the other day. I wanted to share this with you guys. This is cool. All right, so we have Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Friday Night Lights. Obviously, that's high school. Yes. Saturday college football, NFL Sunday, the best time of the year. I agree. I don't think there's any
with any luck, there will be a MAC game of the week on Tuesday.
So I was going to probably end up going to some high school football games this year if COVID allows it, or that's cool. But I'd still like to go back and see a high school football game, to be honest.
Yeah, I've never been to a high school football game. I should go this year. Never.
Oh, they're so fun, dude. They're so fun.
They are
fun. Because it's kids. They're teenagers, and it's
right.
I mean, if you I know you love college football. You love.
Oh, I love college football.
Oh, yeah.
So
God,
if you
love college
football, you'll like high school football because it's the level below them, but it's so much fun to watch, especially if you have your team, if your local high school, if you can go back to your alma mater, that's cool. I mean,
there's three. I could go. There's three local high schools I could go to. So
I have a bunch in my area too. So that's cool about that. I have many options.
Yeah.
On a Friday night to go to a game.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, Friday Night Lights. I mean, cool. That was a great movie. I guess it turned into a TV show. So
it was.
Yep. Turned into a series. Yep.
So
and the book.
So yeah. So you guys think that the minor league system needs to be revamped?
It needs to be all overhauled. Definitely. I 100%.
Okay.
No question.
I think that there's a huge pay discrepancy between the top and the bottom.
Okay.
And the top and the bottom and the top.
Right.
There's a huge pay discrepancy between the bottom of the MLB and the top of the minor leagues. I mean, these guys are peanut butter and jelly sandwich, ramen noodle type. Take a bus, the bus breaks down, and they got to get out and fix the bus type guys.
Right.
Correct.
And if they can't get the bus fixed, they're going to push it down a hill and hopefully roll into the next town.
Get fixed. Yeah.
And if you're looking at the bottom of the MLB and the top of the minor league, there's such a pay gap. It's you pray that somebody gets hurt in a way.
Well,
You don't want real bad, but they have to come down and make a rehab start so that y'all can get a decent hotel and a couple of hot meals.
right, of course.
Well, you guys remember the movie Major League, right? The Back to the Minors. Have you ever seen the third one, Back to the Minors?
That's
exactly what Adam is referring to. They get put on this broken down bus. They're eating in like dive cafes because
like they're eating at a hole in the wall because Waffle House is expensive.
Right. Well, that's kind of cutting it. Waffle House is cheap, but anyway,
that's the point.
I know
they're going to these mom and pop dive bars because Waffle House is expensive.
Waffle House is good, by the way.
I do enjoy a Waffle House at 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning, nothing better than a.
Lewis, you don't have Waffle Houses in New Jersey, do you? Just off chance?
No, we don't.
It's like a Denny's.
I think it's
that.
Yeah, it's like Denny's.
We have a Denny's.
Denny's, okay. All right, we have
Denny's. It's a lot like Denny's.
Well, we have an IHOP too.
Yeah,
IHOP's good. I like IHOP.
I like IHOP too.
We have IHOPs all over the place.
Right.
So, guys, real quick, you did see that the MLB did release their schedule for next season, right?
No, I hadn't.
Yes.
Yep.
Here is some of the opening day matchups that we'll see. You'll have the Orioles at the Blue Jays, the Red Sox at the Rays, the Rangers at the Yankees, the Guardians at the Royals. That's the Indians, by the way. Mariners at the Tigers, White Sox at the Twins.
A's gets to open up at home.
Bulls, Astros and Phillies, Marlins at the Braves, Mets at the Nationals, Brewers at the Diamondbacks, Pirates at the Cardinals, Reds at the Cubs, Dodgers at the Rockies, and the Padres at the Giants. So that is the MLB All-Star Game will be taking place at Dodger Stadium on July 19th. So that is the interleague. The schedule will be set to conclude on October 2nd of 2022. If that's a big if, there's no strike.
Yeah.
Don't count on it.
The elephant
right now.
We all need to address the elephant in the room. Francine.
Well, there's the question too. Would you? Okay, there's another thing.
There's going to be a strike.
What is there? What is the percent? What is between you guys? What is the percentage there will be a strike?
100%.
100%.
80%.
80%. Okay.
There will be a strike.
I'm gonna go.
I bet my house on it, but I don't have.
I'm gonna go in the middle of you two. I'm gonna say 90 because I think there will be one too. They fought over COVID money.
Everything.
See what it's going to be like.
It's going to be ugly. They're going to lock them out.
Yeah.
They'll lock them out.
Ugly as sin.
Yeah, they'll lock them out.
And baseball.
When does the contract expire?
December
1st.
December 1st at midnight?
Yep.
11:59 p.m., but we'll say midnight for argument's sake, okay?
They'll lock them out.
Don't say midnight, you dummy. 11:59 and 59 seconds. We're gonna.
There you go. 11:59.
They will lock the doors at 12 o'clock.
Yes.
The doors will be locked at 12 o'clock.
Well, actually, they're gonna lock them at 12:01.
They will lock them out at 12
o'clock.
They're
gonna get the security guards out, so they're gonna give them an extra minute or two to get out. So
12:01.
12:02.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Anybody that's anybody that's still in the building at 12:01, you're stuck.
Yeah. So I mean, again.
I hope you brought snacks in a camping bag.
Yeah, there's a big
I don't like it.
Yeah, big if with that one. So
yeah.
All right, I can't see.
Yeah.
Not with the shit show that was last year. Yeah, no.
COVID.
They're gonna lock them out.
So
I will be 100% surprised if they don't lock them out.
Well, look, I mean, we were surprised before because they thought they were going to have the season. Last year, but they did. They had 60 games, so anything is really possible.
Anything can happen, but they're gonna lock them up.
Yeah.
How long this will last? It will last the full season. We'll go into 2 seasons because that was the rumor that was going to happen, and if that happens, that Fox deal that got signed is going to be screwed.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll lose a whole season, but they will lock them out.
Yep. I agree.
At least you got.
I think they lose a month. I think they come back in May.
Okay.
I think they lock them out in December, and they lock out until the end of April. I think the season starts at the beginning of May.
Okay, so you think we'll still have a majority of the season?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good news.
And can I?
I don't think it'll be nearly as bad as '94.
Nothing can be as bad as '94, man. Believe me, nothing can be as
Right.
bad.
Well, they lost the World Series in '94, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
And the
Because they
Yankees
locked them
do
out in
that-
what, August?
Yeah. August 5th, August 16th.
Okay. I thought it was something like that.
It was.
Again, I was 2 and 8 months.
You tell me. I have no idea.
Something like that.
I was 11.
I was 24.
I was
And
11.
I was like, how can you do this?
Right.
You
Well, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you guys with all the big contracts that we saw the NBA players sign.
Yeah.
There was a lot of big deals signed.
Mhm.
Do you see the NBA on a future strike? Do you see the owners going? Okay,
Not anytime soon.
not anytime.
Not anytime soon.
No.
The NBA makes money hand over fist.
yes.
The
And
NBA will the NBA signs those massive gargantuan contracts because they got money to piss away. They make so much money, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I,
I
think,
think-
with their commissioner, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't see them locking out anytime soon.
Silver, no.
Not with the way they make money.
Right.
No.
Guys, what I have left to talk about, we could talk about the PGA Tour schedule. We could talk about NCAA football. We could talk wrestling. I have
I got
NASCAR.
something about PGA, about
PGA?
DeChambeau.
Go ahead.
I don't know what he mean by his comments, like saying how he refused to take the vaccine and he has no regrets over that. But he's like also saying, well, why should I take the vaccine and give that and take it away from somebody else? I don't really think you're taking it away from somebody by getting the vaccine. I mean,
No.
you're looking out for yourself, first of all, because that's, you have to look out for yourself. And you're like, well, I'm a healthy individual. I'm going to honor my health and whatnot. But, in the short term, it's doesn't seem right. But in the long term, if you get it, it's going to do you a lot better. So you can't think like, well, I don't really think I need to take the vaccine. I should wait for, because somebody else needs it more important than I do. I get the point of that, but at the same time, you got to think about yourself in this case because you don't want to get it. And like, oh shit, there I go. I should have taken it. I should have listened.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I thought, I'm invincible. I'm one of the greatest golfers in the world. I can't get sick. Yeah, tell that to John Rahm got it twice in a month.
Yeah, I said
Think
Rahm's
about
had it. John Rahm's had it 3 times, by the
Three
way.
times. I thought it was twice.
No, he's had it 3 times.
What was that?
diagnosed- Yep, 3 times he's had COVID. He's had it
Who
3
was
times.
it that had to pull out of that major because he got
Rahm.
COVID?
John
John
Rahm.
Rahm.
Was
John
it
Rahm.
okay?
Rahm. Sorry. That was Rahm.
Well, Rahm was leading a golf tournament into the
Right, he had
third
a
round.
6-stroke lead.
Mhm.
6-stroke lead going into day 4.
He comes off the 18th green, and then one of them says, "I'm sorry, you tested positive for COVID." He almost broke down crying because he was.
Oh, I
leading.
would've.
And how
He
could
He
you
had a
lost
do
like
that?
6-stroke lead.
Why
he had a
didn't you
six-
just put me down the course?
$6 by
Right.
having to withdraw.
You had to win the 18th hole to tell him you should have done it before you went on the course, you idiot.
Yeah. So
That
then
was terrible.
he tests positive, then he comes back within 2 weeks and wins the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, he came back and won the U.S. Open 2 weeks later. From what I'm reading about the PGA Tour schedule,
Mhm.
they are making some. They're kind of coming in the middle with the European Tour. So they're making some more European Tour stops, which is kind of cool. I mean, a lot of people who are golf fans, if you don't know what the European Tour is, guys, it is strictly Europe golf courses that they don't play outside of Europe.
Right.
But it's a different kind of golf overseas than it is here in the United States. We have the nice courtesy of nice weather most of the time.
Right.
Over there, they have wind and high rough and rain and everything else that happens over there.
Right.
They play a different kind of game than we do here. But not really anything major happening to the schedule from
What
last
about the
year.
Ryder Cup?
The Ryder Cup will be coming up. Actually, it's coming up this year.
Yeah.
next month. It's at the end of the month at Whistling Straits in
Mm.
Kohler, Wisconsin.
Oh,
That
it's
is
going to
where
be the
it's
States
at.
this year. Okay.
And again, this is Team USA versus Team Europe, actually, is who it is. And a lot of people are wondering how in the world you put USA versus a whole continent. And I'm like, I don't know. It's been that way
Not
for
easy.
the longest time. But the Ryder Cup, if there's any golf tournament out there, guys, that drives me up a wall more, it's that tournament.
Yeah.
I will freaking throw things at a TV,
Mm.
the other golf
Me
tournament I
too.
watch, because especially on Sundays when it's match play, when it's one-on-one, they send out each other. I think there's 10, 12 players on each team.
Mhm.
They get paired out together. That drives me the craziest, especially when it comes down to the last few matches. And if the cup can go either way, whether it goes to Team Europe or Team USA.
Yeah.
And I throw things at the TV when they miss a putt.
You
And
know
I
what,
think
Jim?
they're
I
human.
was the only one.
They're human. Of course, they're going to miss putts. They're human.
Yeah.
They're not robots.
Yeah,
They're gonna miss
bombs.
putts and hit bad shots.
Yeah,
So-
dead weight again.
But yes, the Ryder Cup is coming up next month. All of the majors are over for the PGA Tour. All 4 majors have already been played. The Open Championship was the last one. It will begin in January. Now, before I say this, can you guess what state the PGA Tour begins in January?
Florida.
California.
Not California. Close, but that's not where they're playing. Nope.
Las
Very
Vegas.
Nope. Not Vegas. It's not in the. Nope. It's not. One of the 50 states. If you think warm, it's not Florida. So I will give you that. It's not
Arizona.
Not Arizona. Nope. Not Arizona.
So we're not. So
Utah?
we're ruling out Trenton, New
Sorry?
Jersey. Okay.
New Jersey. No, they play in Hawaii. They
Oh,
begin the
okay.
season.
I wouldn't have got it. I would have never
Hawaii.
come up with. I could have gone through. I could have gone through every state, and I would have still not come up with Hawaii.
Why is a
Hawaii.
good choice?
Well, there's a lot of as there's a lot of beautiful courses everywhere, but there's a lot of beautiful golf courses in Hawaii.
Yes.
They play it's the Century Tournament of Champions at Capitol. That's the famous one there, and then the Sony Open is the very first one at Waialae Country Club in Honolulu. Then they move to California. Then they have 3 tournaments in California. The last one being at Pebble Beach, which I want to play there so bad.
Yeah.
Then they play at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, where the loudest hole in golf is in Scottsdale.
That's a fun
16.
course.
That's that one.
It's a short par 3,
Short
and
par three.
it's so tricky. It's
Yep.
a short. 16 is a short par 3, and
Right.
Yep. And then
that's a fun hole though.
they
Here's
move.
a question for you. You're playing in Hawaii, but suppose you get a big wave that's smacked right in the middle of it, and then what? Yeah.
I don't
guess
know.
we get wet.
You get wet. Yeah, that's gonna say Hawaii. That's Hawaii.
What's his trying?
The schedule.
There goes a big wave. And whoops.
The schedule shifts to Florida in late February, starting with the PGA at the Honda Classic in Palm Beach. The Players Championship is at Sawgrass in Ponte Verde. That's a nice golf course. I've never got a chance to play there, but that's locally. But the first major, obviously, is the Masters, and that happens in April 4th through the 10th at Augusta National. So that is that. They have a couple tournaments in Texas. Actually, guys, they're going in the Dominican Republic from March 21st to the 27th. So they're going out of the country to play off the grid there in the Dominican. That's kind of cool. I would have to say that's pretty cool.
I'll join you.
Yeah, heck yeah, I do the same thing.
I'm there. Be a great birthday present for me. My birthday's that same week.
Yeah.
The PGA Championship, the second major, is in May 16th through the 22nd at Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's going to be cool to play the PGA in Tulsa. The U.S. Open is in Brookline, Massachusetts at the Country Club. That's a really famous golf course in Mass. And then the Open Championship is at St. Andrews, July 11th through the 17th. That's where it all began.
Yeah.
For all people out there that don't know where golf began, it wasn't invented in Scotland. And that was the golf course that started it all with St. Andrews. So that's a golf course that's on my bucket list. I haven't gotten over there yet, but that's on my bucket list too.
They
to play.
They had to play in Detroit in February.
Yeah, right. So of course
Well,
we're
here's
including-
Well, speaking of that, but I went on a cosplaying event with my buddy, and I flew into Detroit in February, and the golf course looked so nice. There was no snow on the ground.
No,
But
there's
looked
no, but
so
it's
nice.
cold as hell. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
ground, I couldn't imagine trying to hit a fairway shot in Detroit.
no.
Because it's either gonna be mush and awful, or it's gonna be like hitting it off the concrete.
Just gonna say
And
Yeah,
those greens are gonna play fast as hell.
that's got to be the same way in New Jersey too at that time.
Yeah, they
No.
should play in
Same
February,
thing.
and then they should have a tournament in Detroit and Jersey
Okay.
in February. That'd be fun.
Don't go there. Jersey's awful.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's just Jersey.
yeah.
Ugh.
The
You don't want
As
to play
it-
golf in Jersey.
as it always did, the last tournament of the year is always played in October. Oh, they have August 22nd to the 20th, the Sewer Championship in Atlanta, Georgia. That usually is the one that ends up ending the year. A lot of they don't play any golf in December. So the month of December, they don't play golf at all. So that whole month is the PGA Tour and a lot of the tours off season. But that's because I think it's too cold everywhere at that time of the year to play golf anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Except for maybe Hawaii.
except for Hawaii.
Mhm.
So yeah. But yeah, guys, that's my PGA update. With that, I mean, where would you guys want to go next? You want to talk wrestling real quick? I got some.
Yeah, actually, I did have
Yeah.
a wrestling thing. If you want to go,
Well,
I'll
I'm
let you
gonna
get started.
I'm going to start with the AEW because I guess Chris Jericho had a little thing to say about Vince McMahon. I guess he said
Don't
that
poke the bear.
McMahon said he's never been worried. Jericho responds to Vince McMahon. AEW has never been worried about the WWE or the NXT, which is NXT is the guys that are trying to make their way to the main roster. So again, what else is he going to say? And to respond to that, we don't see the WWE as a competition. And he was smart to say that. And I agree with that to a certain extent. For AEW, I really do. But they are the rival. They're our rival of WWE. You can't sit there and tell me that that's not.
Much like back in the 80s when WCW was the rival. And look what
Yes,
happened.
I was a WCW fan myself, so I know. Yep.
Sorry to hear that.
Huh.
It is what it is. I mean, you knew the company was being run into the ground, and they were trying to revive it, and
Right.
they had the wrong people in charge. I know.
Right.
I've heard many different stories from many different people
Yes.
about the WCW, and
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about the WCW
it's down
and its dying days.
But we can go ahead and that was the one thing I wanted to bring up about the AEW. But you had a wrestling story.
Yeah.
Yours.
Bobby Eaton passed away
Mhm.
yesterday. He was one half of the Midnight Express.
Yes. Yep. Well, also,
with Jim Cornette.
also too. Oh, you want Jim Cornette? You want to talk about a YouTube channel about wrestling? Go on his.
Yeah.
He will basically tell
Thank
you
you, fuck
everything
you, bye.
about the
And
wrestling.
anything.
Yes, about how he's pissed off, how certain
Um,
people. Yeah, bunch of stuff. I've watched him.
My favorite Jim Cornette story was Laurinaitis was working in development for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And he called Cornette and he said, "Hey, I don't remember the guy's name, but so Laurinaitis calls Cornette up. It's like, hey, we need this guy to come up and work an angle on, I think it was Raw or SmackDown. It was the late 90s, early 2000s. He's like, all right, sure. Puts him on a bus, sends him up, and they do their bit, and he comes back, and he's shaved bald. Cornette calls Laurinaitis and can't get a hold of him. Calls calling around, can't get a hold of Laurinaitis. Finally leaves a voicemail and just blesses him out. Up one side, down the other. He's like, if you had just told me, I could have worked an angle. I could have had a hair match, could have done it. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But because you didn't bother to call me, yada yada. So to make a long story short, he's like, as he's hanging up, he goes, "Thank you, fuck you, bye."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's my favorite Jim Cornette story.
Cornette, like I said, Cornette has no problem.
He's been there and done that, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Out of everybody in the business, I mean,
yep, he has.
If you want to know about wrestling, yeah,
watch his YouTube channel.
You ever watch Wrestling with Regret?
I have watched Wrestling with Regret.
I love his channel
many times.
I like them. I like him. I like WrestleMania. I like WrestleMania. I like What Culture.
What Culture? They have their wrestling coverage is great because they have many different guys that do it.
Yeah, I like Adam from What Culture.
Yep.
And then I like I don't know if you ever heard of V and Fuso.
I don't think I have.
I'll send you some of his wrestling content. It's pretty good. I like his stuff.
Well,
but I just wanted to
go ahead.
I just wanted to bring that up. Bobby Eaton, one half of the Midnight Express, and I'm passing away. Arn Anderson said, put out a press release. It's funny to think about these guys that were middle-aged guys when I was coming up, and they weren't old guys, and now they are old guys. Yeah, I know, old being relative because Eaton was only 62, but I mean Flair's in his 70s. Hogan's in his 60s or 70s.
Yeah,
McMahon's got to be pushing 80 now.
Well, I think Sting and Undertaker are both in their 60s too.
They're late 50s, mid to late 50s.
Yeah.
Mick Foley, he's old. He's in his late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And 40 years of the wrestling business is taking their toll on him.
Yep.
God, he doesn't look good. I saw he was on 2-3 years ago now, maybe even before that, or maybe even sooner than that, I should say. Maybe it was only last year. He was on an episode, a little short, a vignette, if you will, for Pawn Stars on the History Channel.
Oh,
and they had some merch from him, and they wanted him to come and authenticate it. And I think if something was autographed, and he came in authentic. Yeah, this is authentic. He looked rough.
Well,
I mean, and
good.
And Goldberg's old.
Yep.
Stone Cold's old. He doesn't look good either. He looks really rough.
Yeah.
Well, no, you had something that you were gonna add.
I was gonna say there's some there. Bray Wyatt got released by the WWE.
I saw that. Yeah, I was never a fan of Bray Wyatt. He never did anything to me. He was he was a. Are you familiar with Wish.com?
Yes, I am.
When you order The Undertaker off Wish.com.
You can? I didn't know that.
No, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
When you order
Bray Wyatt, okay.
When you order The Undertaker off of Wish.com, I just think he was a cheap copy of The Undertaker.
A cheap copy.
Honestly, I always felt like he was a cheap copy of The Undertaker. I never.
Okay.
I agree with that.
He was supposed to be the devil incarnate, that the next evolution of the spooky wrestler, if you will.
Right.
And they're bringing back Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, then the other thing is that the Brock Lesnar and CM Punk rumors are heating up that they're going to sign with AEW.
Okay, I haven't heard Lesnar's going to AEW, but I did hear Punk was on his way to AEW.
AEW. Yes, the root beer company.
He's gonna get a burger. And fries
I knew you're gonna do it. I knew you're gonna do that.
Sponsor that. Oh, that's great. But yeah, I had an A&W down here when it closed.
Yeah, I've had A&W once. It was not a bad hot dog. It's at the food court. My grandpa bought it for me.
And they turned.
But anyway, AEW, not A and W. AEW. Yeah, I heard that they're expecting him to make his debut in the beginning of September, 9/5,
Okay.
which I think that's a Wednesday.
I wouldn't be.
Because I think Dynamite is on Wednesdays.
Yes. Yes.
I always forget that it's on. I did have it.
They turned Sasha Banks heel, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
There aren't enough good heels in the WWE. Everybody's so two-faced anymore.
Yeah.
And
Here's a question I have. Name one wrestler that's never been a heel. It's a famous one, too.
never been a heel?
Never been a heel. Think about that.
Never
Hulk
been
Hogan.
a... No, Hogan was a heel in WCW.
Hogan was a
Well,
heel.
Hollywood Hogan.
NWO. He was a big heel.
Yeah.
for
Oh, he was the
NWO.
biggest heel in the business.
Yeah.
Most everybody. Daniel Bryan? Was
No,
Bryan
Daniel
ever heel?
Bryan. Daniel Bryan has been a heel before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think of Daniel Bryan as like a babyface assassin, man.
Famous
Bret
guy.
Hart. Bret
No,
Hart went
Hart-
heel several times.
Hart's been a heel many times.
Yeah.
John
Shawn Michaels?
John.
Cena's never. You don't think Thugonomics was a heel turn?
No,
You don't think Cena started as a heel?
No, the reason why he never was a heel is because he was the fan favorite. They've never.
I'm a
turned
huge
him
John
heel.
Cena fan. I am.
I
I'm an
I disagree with
unapologetic John Cena fan. Even when he was at the height, when it was popular to hate John Cena, I was a John Cena fan. I've always liked John Cena.
I have no problem with him either. I have no problem with. I hope he wins. So he
Yeah, I
breaks
do too.
Flair's
I
record.
can't stand Roman Reigns. I've never liked Roman Reigns.
Well, speaking of that, I read an article that they're worried that SummerSlam's going to get canceled because of the rising COVID cases in California.
In California, interesting. Maybe we ought to move to Vegas then. Move to what is that? What's that new place in Vegas? What is that called?
Allegiant Stadium.
Is it Allegiant? Yeah.
I think that's
Move to Vegas.
there's-
It'd
where
be a
the
good
Raiders-
place for it too.
Where the Raiders play. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what it's called.
You know, actually, the cases here aren't so bad.
Yeah, we haven't had a spike like Florida.
Yeah,
No.
we have.
Yeah, Florida had 21,000 cases last week.
Yeah, we
Good
have
God,
down here.
get your damn vaccine.
And I gotta have vaccinated, and I gotta get the other half.
Yeah, a couple more weeks, right?
It's supposed to be late August or September. But if I
Okay.
had anything like in the first vaccine, I don't know because you know what happened to me. I told you what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. What?
Yeah.
3 heads and 4 arms and a couple more nipples.
Yeah. I saw some guy with a tail. It's awful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Humans don't have tails.
No, we
They have
don't
big
have
bouncy bottoms.
well, I did see someone turn to a half man, half beast type like character too. Oh, it's awful. Oof. I mean, the side effects are for the guys, not for the female. For the guys, it's awful.
So no, I went and got it. I've heard people say that they got vaccinated. They didn't
Yeah,
want
it
to
was-
get vaccinated, but they did because their family and friends.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who did it for them. I was going to get vaccinated anyway. but,
Yeah. Well,
because I
you
wanted
know-
to get back to normal life faster.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
So-
my mom got sick. Thankfully, it was a mild case, but she did get sick. And I was like, when it first started back a year and a half ago, I didn't want to believe that it was as bad as they said it was.
Right.
It was a cold. It was an upper respiratory infection, like that you get every year. Like a seasonal cold.
Mhm.
You get the sniffles, you get chest congestion, you
Yeah.
take some Benadryl, you'll be fine. But the problem is that it doesn't kill.
No.
Like Ebola. I'm sure you guys remember the Ebola scare from about 7-10 years ago now, or even SARS, the original SARS.
SARS, yep.
First was when SARS 1 first came out. The fact is that SARS was able to be contained in the Middle East, and so it didn't spread like it didn't have the spread rate that COVID-2 has, or SARS-CoV-2, or COVID-19 as it's more colloquially known. But with COVID-2, it has an R naught value +2, and it has an incubation period of 10 to 14 days. So you can be sick for almost 2 weeks, and you can be sick for 3 to 4 days before you even present symptoms.
Right.
And so the fact is and it doesn't kill. It's not a very lethal virus. So it is able to propagate in new hosts and continue to spread throughout those, and it's mutating and evolving every single time it invades a new host.
Right.
And so that's why you have to go get vaccinated. The unsubstantiated rumors that I have not been able to corroborate through any legitimate source, any source that I would consider legitimate, that I've seen a max casualty rate in the 8 months that we've been vaccinating of 9,000. In over 2 billion doses given, 9,000 people have died as a direct result of the virus, or the vaccine. I'm sorry, excuse me. Over 3 million people worldwide have died from the virus.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 2% chance of dying from the virus. You have a 0.00017% chance of dying from the vaccine. I want to reiterate that. That's 0.00017. That's 3 zeros before you even get to the first one. You are more likely. Give me a second to do the math. It's an order of magnitude more likely to die from the vaccine or from the virus than you are from the vaccine.
Right.
0.001.
I think a lot of people, when it comes down to it, it's their
Yes.
political beliefs that are stopping them from getting
Right.
No, it's not.
But you're showing that stock.
200.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, because some people say that I'm not doing it because I'm an American. And you're right.
Yeah.
You have the right to not get it. But I think.
But you also have a responsibility to be properly informed.
Yes.
Correct. That's correct. I agree with that. And wholeheartedly, I could say this too, that I think if you are letting your political beliefs stop you from getting vaccinated, that's a selfish act. Let me just say
Agreed.
that out loud. That's a selfish act. Because once again, just like here in my state, we have 9,000 new cases. And you know what? I think I saw something last night on a local news channel that we have here locally in Tampa Bay, and it said that 80% of the cases are unvaccinated people. There you go. Right there. So, like I said, if you
are over it's close to 1,200 times more likely to die from the vaccine than you are, or from the virus than the vaccine. I keep saying it wrong. Please forgive me. Please, please, please listen to what I'm saying. 1,200% more likely to die from the virus than you are from the vaccine. It is unfortunate that people succumb to the vaccine. It is a terrible, terrible thing. But when you get the vaccine, you prevent the spread and transmission of the virus. You have a much higher, your survival rate is incredibly higher, and your systems are far more manageable and mild when you have the vaccine versus when you don't.
Correct.
1,200 times more likely to die from the virus than you are from the vaccine.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No. So
And the complications from the vaccine are treatable, manageable, and understood. The complications from the virus are unknown.
Yep. It varies.
When the Johnson & Johnson scare was happening back at the beginning of the year, when a half a dozen people out of the first million people given it, I saw a study that said 100,000 out of every 1 million cases of COVID ended up with blood clots. 6 people out of the first million people given the Johnson & Johnson had blood clots. 100,000 out of every million cases of COVID had blood clots.
Mm-hmm.
Get your vaccine.
Yes.
They're not trying to track you. If they wanted to track you, they know where you live. It's on your damn driver's license.
Not only that, is they can track you by your cell phone. You want to track you. That's a tracking device right there that everyone carries
Your
around
cell
every day.
phone. They know where you live. They
Yep.
know where you know if you have a utility bill.
Correct.
If they wanted to, if there was some secret evil cabal that wanted to take over the world, why haven't they already taken over the world?
Yeah, they might be trying to do that as we speak, but yeah.
Every time, every evil cabal that's ever tried to take over the world has failed.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
Anyway, should we get into something fun?
Yes.
I was going to talk about NASCAR because they're in Watkins Glen this week, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All three series are in Watkins Glen.
So here is
a block with the back.
Here is the starting lineup for Watkins Glen. Brad Keselowski is on the pole. Let's see what it says here. Keselowski will start on the pole and will be joined in the front row by teammate Joey Logano. Team Penske, Ryan Blaney will start third. Kyle Larson in fourth. Kevin Harvick completes the top five. Points leader Denny Hamlin starts sixth. Eric Almirola, excuse me if I pronounce that name.
It's Eric Almirola.
Almirola, who won the New Hampshire 2 weeks ago, starts eighth.
Where does Chase roll off?
Let me see, bud. Let me see if the weather, they're calling for 84 degrees and a 20% chance of rain.
Nice weather
On that. So let's see what the starting lineup is. This is NASCAR. NASCAR is one of the best websites when it comes to
NASCAR.
Yeah.
NBC is one of the best websites when it comes to NASCAR coverage. Chase Elliott will be in row 6, buddy. He is going to be
12th or 13th.
Ross Chastain will be his. So it's
sweet. It's a great segue.
Yeah, Keselowski, Logano, Blaney, Larson, Harvick, Hamlin, Bell, Almirola, Truex Jr., Bowman, Elliott, Chastain, Reddick, DiBiendo, Byron, Dillon, Kurt Busch, Stenhouse Jr., Custer, the other Busch, Kyle, Suarez, Jones, Pierce, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Ryan Pierce,
Priest,
Boucher, McDowell, Bubba Wallace, Briscoe, Newman, LaJoy, Haley, Alfredo.
As in Haley Deegan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, Justin Haley. Okay.
Smithley, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Smithley.
Yeah, Smithley.
Yeah. Tilly Bilicki.
Josh Bilicki.
Hoff, Davidson, and then row 19 is R.C. Emerson. I think is how you
sounds like a ringer.
Yeah, he's in the last row.
Shotgun on the field.
He's driving a Chevrolet. Looks like there's a bunch of Fords, bunch of Chevrolets, a couple of Toyotas sprinkled in the mix.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's mostly Ford in NASCAR now. Has that been the one that's
mostly? I think it's 18 Chevy teams, 11 or 13
4 teams.
4 teams and 8 Toyota teams.
I know Toyota started to come into NASCAR. What about
a decade ago?
Decade ago.
Yeah, I think they had their first race in 2008.
Yeah, I remember that when that was announced that they were coming to NASCAR.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right, some foreigners.
A non-American.
Yeah, even though Jaguar won a race back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Ross Chastain was signed by Trackhouse to be the other driver in the one, to be their other driver next year.
Okay.
So I think that means that Kurt Busch is headed to 2311 Racing next season. And they'll probably get the 54.
There's 2 topics left that we haven't talked about, gentlemen. That's NCAA and the National Hockey League.
Is there anything going on in the? Let's knock hockey out real quick because I don't really know if anything going on in the National Hockey League.
Well, supposedly, according to what I read in this article, that Philip Grubauer, his contract he signed with the Kraken has been rejected by the National Hockey League.
I did see that. Yeah.
And the other big story is obviously Evander Kane, who is in serious trouble.
He's in deep
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
What a dope.
And I don't know if you guys have seen. I've like a few articles here that I pulled up that they don't want him back. His teammates don't even want him back in the locker.
Yeah. I've seen several Sharks have said no.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm gonna use up my one F-bomb for now,
Go right ahead.
or for this week's show.
Okay.
Fuck that guy.
No,
I believe that's the consensus on in the Sharks dressing room.
Yes.
I would say the exact. I mean, he's
you know, I think we can you know Willie Pip, right?
Yeah.
I think he's been Pete Rosed.
Yes.
Ooh. Pete Rose.
I think you know Willie Pip was the was it Gary that got the start?
Something like that.
Who was it that got the start over Willie Pip? Because Pip wasn't feeling good, and so they gave him the day off. I gotta look it up because it's gonna drive me crazy now.
Yeah, but I think Evander Kane, owes like $27.5 million in gambling.
At least.
That's just insane. That's insane that you owe that much money in gambling debts.
Yeah, it was Gary.
Right.
Yep. Willie Pip was the play. Gary got the start over Pip, and then Pip never played another game for the Yankees.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, there was a YouTube channel that I was watching about Kane. Give me 1 second to find it.
You know, I'm really surprised that your hitting tree didn't have anything about him.
Not yet.
I was gonna say I'm waiting for that video to come out. I watched his 2-hour trade deadline thing.
Yes, it was Odd Man Rush. It's a great channel. If you've never checked it out,
okay.
Odd Man Rush. It's a great channel. I love his content. He did a video on Evander Kane.
I'll have to check that out, boy. I'll check that out.
About 6 months ago. From millionaire, the name of the video is about 25 minutes. From millionaire to bankruptcy, the Evander Kane story. I mean, it's awesome. I really enjoy his stuff. Another great channel, another great hockey channel.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get some of those guys to shout us out. Damn it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I see it right here. So Odd Man Rush, he's got about 29,000 subs.
Yeah.
I'm going to subscribe to his channel right now. That way I can start seeing his videos.
It's a great channel. I love his stuff.
I mean, the Evander Kane thing and the Group Hour thing, I think, are the only two things.
Yeah, those are the big things going on right now.
Outside of that, the NHL is getting
training
ready.
Camp's a month away?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Preseason hockey's coming up already.
At the end of September. Oh, one other thing that I saw is the tickets for the Kraken are insane. Nosebleed, you're looking at $250 a ticket.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, like nosebleed. When I went to the penultimate game for the Red Wings 5 years ago at the Joe before they closed the Joe down, I think I paid $180 for both my tickets. For a total $180.
Wow.
90 a piece. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. And I got them like a month before the game, so it wasn't like I didn't get them at the beginning of the season when they were on discount. I was like, I want to go to this game. I have the money. I have the time. I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So I got me and my mom a ticket, and we went and we had a blast.
I was there before they closed the building down. I was in the Joe.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
But like I said, guys, that's the basic when it comes to NHL news. Not really a lot going on until the season rolls back around.
Yeah, that's kind of why I figured we'd knock it out real quick and then shuffle on over to the NCAA before we get out of here for that.
Yeah, so I guess Kirk Herbstreit, which has got to be Adam's favorite quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Has made some choice messages about the realignment. Of course, we all know. Starting in 2025, we will have Texas and Oklahoma moving to the SEC. but he is not very happy with that they're shifting. I guess he had some blunt messages about why
I hadn't bothered to read his comments because
he's a Buckeye.
because he's Kirk Herbstreit.
You could say he was a Buckeye. You could say that.
Well, it's been more than just him being a Buckeye. It's because he's Kirk Herbstreit.
Yes.
Regardless, he'd still be a bum even if he played anywhere else.
I will say this about him. I like him on College Game Day. I will give him that. When he's with the other 4 that are on there, that's great.
Right.
Him and Desmond.
You'll give him far more credit than I will.
And who's the main guy? Corso, yeah. Howard and Herbstreit. And who's the guy in the middle? Who's the main guy? One that always talks.
Fowler. Chris Fowler.
Oh, Chris Fowler. Okay, there you go.
I like Fowler. I do. I really like Chris Fowler.
I mean, that he had some choice words. Obviously, the Big 12 and Pac-12 are talking about possibly merging together to avoid any other Big 12 teams leaving the conference. I
Right.
guess that's been the talk.
That would be going in a different direction than I was imagining.
Yes.
And creating a super conference there. Is that it? If
What?
that happens, could you see the SEC and the Big Ten merging into the super conference?
Possibility.
I would think so.
And then what do you do with the East Coast?
Screw it.
Can't.
The ACC would be the lone.
Right, they'd be
left
the
out.
independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be the only ones left out. Yep. I don't know. Good question.
Because I kind of see the ACC, I see the SEC and Pac-12, Big 12 merging into one super conference.
Yeah.
And then the ACC and the Big East and the Pac-10 merging into super conference.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Minnesota or Montana through the Midwest up into the East Coast, and then Idaho, and then kind of you're kind of having that
Yeah.
and just kind of having everybody in 2 super conferences.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
And
that's
then what do you do?
No.
we'll have to wait and see
Afraid to find out.
Right?
if those two decide to,
To
merge
that
up.
comes to-
I mean, how would you see this if the Pac-12 and Big 12 merge and the Big 10, the ACC and SEC all merge together too
And became
one big one on the East Coast? Take all the
That-
East Coast teams, mostly East Coast teams,
East Coast,
And
Midwest, and
Central.
South.
all together.
Yeah, but we'll make it more competitive or less competitive.
I don't know.
First of all, here's the thing: if that ever does happen, I want to give the scheduling people a hell of a lot of credit because they're going to have a lot of.
It's going to be a headache,
to schedule against each other every year,
right?
Exactly.
You'll see Michigan, Florida, Ohio State, Alabama.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll see Clemson.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah, you'll see a lot of teams.
What do you do? What do you do with the Army or the military academies?
Mm.
Well, they're both independent. Or the Navy's in the AAC.
No.
Army's independent, aren't they?
Last I knew, the Army was independent, and
Yeah,
then
so was Air
Air
Force,
Force in the Mountain West.
Everyone's in the Mountain West. Okay.
I think Navy's either in the ACC or the AAC.
AAC. Navy's in the AAC.
And then
USF.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
And then Army's the Army, Navy, Air Force. Yeah, those are the 3
Well, I didn't know this until I wrote an article about it. I didn't know that
military academies.
all 3 of them played for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. I think that's pretty cool. They all played for the Commanders.
The best record of the military academies wins the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
Yep. Last year, I think Air Force won.
I had fun playing Army a couple years ago.
I think
Sounds right.
Air Force won it last year. They beat Army, Army beat Navy because Army's beat them like 2
Yeah, Army beat Navy in Philly.
Philly. Yep, every year.
Yeah, I
miss
hate
that
that. No, they didn't play in Philly last year. They played in Army for the first. They
That's
played
right.
in.
They played in the academy. You're right. They
Yeah,
played
for the first time since
at
the
West Point.
70s.
At
Yeah,
West
yeah.
Point. They were at West Point. Yep, because of the COVID thing, they don't
Yeah.
want to stay home. I don't
They
miss
weren't allowed to.
I don't miss an Army
No,
Navy game.
no,
I don't
no.
miss an Army Navy game.
It's
That
a
game,
great.
that
Even
game,
though it's not really it's usually not a good football game. It's a game you got to see.
yes,
That's a game I'd love to go to. Army
me
Navy.
too. I would have to say that's on my bucket list to go see in my lifetime.
Yeah,
An Army Navy game, and I have no allegiance to either side either. I don't.
Army all the way. Go Army.
My grandfather was a Marine, so I don't have any allegiance to the Army or the Navy. But yeah, I mean, when you get to that game that weekend, and you hear the "Go Navy,"
Go Army.
beat Army, go Army, beat Navy.
Go Army,
so
beat Navy.
Cool. It's so cool to see that game and how it's played out. And again, those kids aren't playing for NFL contracts; they're playing.
No, well,
defender. They're going to defend our country.
there's that Navy kid that got the pass to come play for the Buccaneers.
Oh, the Bucks. That's right. The Bucks. That's right. Correct.
David Robinson went to the Naval Academy.
Yep.
Hell of a basketball player.
Speaking of Ohio State, I guess.
Do we have to?
Well, the NIL coming out now.
Yeah.
Yes.
The students that are at Ohio State can use the logo, the Buckeye logo.
Really?
For licensing purposes, so they are allowing the students to profit off of their logo. So
cool. I think it's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
The athletes should be able to profit off their likeness for sure. I mean, what other pursuit, what other academic pursuit can you not use your likeness to make money?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like if you were a nerd in the math program, and you were a super nerd and you played computer games.
Yeah.
You could play your computer games and you wouldn't have to worry about you losing your scholarship or getting in trouble from the NCAA because nobody gives a shit.
Right.
So why the hell can't the football players or the basketball players or the baseball players or the badminton team? Who gives a shit?
Yep.
And then it's not and then the NCAA doesn't have to worry about losing any of its money.
No.
So I think it's the best of both worlds right now.
No, I agree. I think it's going to end up being more profitable for a lot of kids. That don't have time to get a job because they have to be in practice or they have to be in the classroom.
Right.
So
because you can't do what Miami did.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Hire tutors. Take the test for you.
Yeah.
With that, gentlemen, do you guys have any final thoughts before we close the show?
I like what I'm hearing out of Ann Arbor. And I can't wait to get him. Yeah, yes, I'm working on it. I'm waiting to hear back from him. Let me give me a date and time. I told the same thing I told him last time of 10, 15 minutes or whatever time he's willing to give us. So I went with my gut again. I said, just send him a message, see what he's up to. Thank him for his time last time and see if he'd like to come back on the show because we'd love to have him. Anytime, he's more than welcome. Anytime he wants to come on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to hear it myself.
I just want to see what his opinion is because he's up in Ann Arbor. I want to hear what his opinion is on what Michigan and how Michigan football is going so far this year, going into this season.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him about the spring game and the practices heading into the start of the season. I just want to clarify your question from the last time we had him on the show. We asked him about his favorite game, and I think we had talked about this off the air, but I wanted to kind of explain that we're not the best game he's ever called personally, but just the game that he enjoyed the most calling. What was the game that he is like? That was a hell of a football game, and I'm glad I got to call that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. I'm not really sure. I can look up the video.
Because it was January 14th that we had him on the show last time. Right. You would ask him what his favorite game or what the best game he called was, and he had said that if he ever felt that he had ever made the perfect call, that was the day that he retired because he was every week he tries to get better, and right. You were more asking what what was his favorite game to have called, not necessarily the best game he's ever called. Well, what was the best game that he's ever been a part of is what more the question you were trying to ask.
Trying to see if whether it was as a player or if whatever it was. I mean, was it a defeat? Was it a win? Yeah. I mean,
because what was his favorite game to be a part of?
A lot of broadcasters will tell you that a lot of their favorite games were when their team lost, because it was it just depends on the situation, that you're put in. I mean, So I mean, I would love to have him come back on. I was going to let you guys know the guy that we had on, the guy from the high
Singapore.
School. No, not him. The other guy that we had on that was, I think, like high school football for collegiate kids or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I messaged him the other day. He's not part of the organization.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So he's not part of the organization. So I was gonna see if we could get an insight on that, but obviously we can't because he's not part of the
organization. Because I had reached out to him several months ago, right before it got started, asked if he wanted to come back on the show, and he never got back to me. So I kind of and then I found out like 2 weeks later after that he was no longer part of the organization.
Because he was what, owner or?
He was the GM.
The GM. Manager. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I could have asked him, hey, is there anyone that you know that's still part of it? Would they like to come on and talk to us?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't think that went down too well, so.
Well, and not only that is, I donated money to that cause.
Yeah.
Dinner that I couldn't attend because I was out of state, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I did it on behalf of us. It was the three of us. I donated upon our show because I told them, I said, I'm not donating for me. I want to put the show's name out there. So when you have those cards, I want it to say the Walker Report to let them know.
I keep forgetting that. We'll talk about that off air.
Anything, Lewis? You got anything you want to talk about before we get off?
No, I think I made my point with the baseball and the golfer who DeChambeau, who said no, I went to the vaccine. So I really wanted to cover that, and I'll be covering that, of course, on Saturday's show, the Enhanced Sports Show, Saturday 5 to 7 p.m. East Coast time. Remember, that's East Coast time, and not 5 a.m. You might get confused with that. We will cover that. We'll cover, of course, the baseball standings, the first week of the NFL preseason, because we're going to be doing something a little bit different this year, just for preseason. That I want to take who's ever on the show, tell us what your team needs for the preseason, and each week in the preseason, take what would be your game of the week. It doesn't matter if it's from your home team or whatnot. I mean, and this is just for preseason only, since none of it counts. And then when we get to the regular season, then we'll go the games of who's going to win that game and whatnot. So just to be clear on that. And of course, we'll wrap up with any last minute trades that came in from the Major League trade deadline, because I'm sure there were some late arrivals after the 30th. And I think, and any of the NBA free agent frenzy, which the period does end on Saturday, so we'll wrap that all up. So if you got nothing planned, give the show a call. Number is 512-543-4662. And I guarantee if you call in, you won't be disappointed.
No, absolutely, you will not. That is very true.
I might be, but nobody else will. Oh.
Well, with that, guys, let me go ahead. Again, the Walker Report has been part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio. If you want some In the Zone Talk Sports gear, head over to squadlocker.com, type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. The show, guys, is sponsored by creating zenspaces.com. By the way, my friend Renee just gave us 2 more months of money, so that's good. But that's during the show. So thank her for that. Guys, it is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for a house cleaning organization in Pet City. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. I will be back on the Sunshine State Sports Jabber tomorrow night. If you missed this show or that show, head over to our YouTube channel, the Sports Star Bradley Walker, where you can see all those shows in its entirety, even our past shows. what you're just talking about, Jim Branson, there is, guys, it is on there. Go down there and find it. It is on there from earlier this year. It's down there. You can't miss it because I think it says in the description that we had talked to Jim on the show. And again, if we can have him back on, that would be outstanding in the future. As I do before I always go, I want to thank the first responders and our men and women of our armed services. Thank you guys for all that you do, both domestically and then on the, being away from your families and stuff, for giving us an opportunity to walk free every day of our lives. Again, everyone, thank you for coming on here. I have 2 Facebook likes. That's pretty cool. We had 5 comments that were mostly about the Florida Gators. That's my friend Phil, who I'll be running into at the UFFSU game later this year in November. I'm excited about that. My first time going to the Swamp in Gainesville. But again, guys, everyone, please stay safe. Please get vaccinated. Don't let your political beliefs get in the way of it. Think about the people that it's going to help more than it will hurt you. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I love all you guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'll be back on tomorrow night. Until then, guys, peace.
And you think Florida Swamp, you see what's like here in New Jersey in the wintertime. It's a swamp. Believe me. Ugh.